Hey everybody, how are you? David DeFranco here from daviddefranco.com as well as brandrocket.com. Check it out right below. I appreciate it. So in my last video, which is also linked right below, I covered the iPad Air 2 and the iPad Mini 3. This is an iPad Mini 2. Don't get too excited. So with that said, for this portion of my Apple keynote coverage, let's talk about two things. One, the iMac with a 5K Retina display, and two, a Mac Mini update? Did it finally happen? Yes, but it's not all that exciting. I'll talk about that in a few moments. So let's start out with the best part of the keynotes aside from the iPad Mini 3. I mean, even though that was a disappointment, that was primarily what I wanted, and Apple somewhat delivered. Hey, it's an update. I'm not going to argue an update. So let's talk about the iMac with Retina display. This has been rumored for quite a while, and it is finally happening, and I can truly understand everyone's excitement. Now, unfortunately, this is not something I could personally use because I'm very grateful to have the brand new late 2013 Mac Pro with three 1440p displays. Now, 1440p is nothing compared to 4K and 5K, but honestly, I'm very happy with this setup. I'm not really ready to display 4K and 5K just yet, primarily because, well, one, I don't have a 4K camcorder, and two, I don't have a 4K TV. And three, maybe like 1 or 2% of you only have access to 4K displays. So creating 4K and 5K content is kind of pointless right now, but it's not going to be pointless a couple years from now. Anyway, let's get into details. Apple did officially announce a 5K Retina 27-inch iMac. Now, this is the world's highest resolution display in a computer. That alone is significant. It offers 67% more pixels than a 4K display does. Picture that, guys. 4K is insane as it is, but to offer 67% of that display in an iMac, that's a huge deal, especially for content creators like myself. Picture a 4K window within Final Cut Pro 10 on a 5K display. You're seeing an entire 4K video within your viewer window on a 5K display. It sounds like I just repeated myself, but I'm just trying to get the idea into people's heads. I mean, this is a huge deal. And while Apple is officially calling it the Retina 5K display, which honestly, I'm okay with. The name kind of makes sense, and well, it's easy to remember. Now, this iMac does start out with a 3.5 gigahertz quad-core i5 processor, but of course, it is upgradable to a 4 gigahertz i7. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's Apple's fastest CPU upgrade yet, at least in the iMac. And now, speaking in terms of the GPU, the new 27-inch iMac offers an AMD Radeon R9. And I think I saw someone on Twitter, I believe it was Ashley Escada. I'm so sorry, Ashley. You're probably not even seeing this. I'm probably saying your name wrong. But still, I think she said this iMac starts with just 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is surprisingly low because I have 16 gigabytes and I actually need more. I'll be upgrading my Mac Pro to 32 gigabytes. So to start out at 8 gigabytes of RAM, I definitely found that quite odd. But who knows? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I read her tweet incorrectly. But still, I'm pretty sure Apple will give you the choice of upgrading the RAM. I mean, we're working with 5K video, so I don't see why 8 gigabyte would be the limit. Now, this is where it gets arguably even more impressive. The Retina 5K iMac starts at $2,499. Now, right off the bat, that might seem like a lot of money. Well, it is a lot of money, but it's not a bad price at all for what you're getting. Which is why I'm going to read a tweet from Al Valentine. I printed this out so I wouldn't forget, and I'll put a screenshot on the video right now. Al says, Dell 5K monitor is $2,500. Top iMac with AMD Radeon M290X and a 5K display is $2,500. So compare that. I mean, would you rather have a 5K display for $2,500? Or would you rather have a 5K display plus a kick-ass computer for $2,500? And Al finishes off his tweet by saying, so much for the Apple tax. And I have to completely agree with Al. I mean, that's insane. I mean, where is this Apple tax that people are always arguing? So in other words, guys, this iMac with a 5K Retina display is an awesome deal. And did I just flip the words? I believe it's Retina 5K display, not 5K Retina. Does it really matter? And finally, this 5K iMac is shipping today. Yes, today. So if you have $2,500 to spend, then treat yourself. Now moving to the far, far, far less exciting portion of that keynote, let's talk about the Mac Mini. Now I will say this right away. The Mac Mini did not receive an awesome update today, but at least it finally received an update. I've always loved the Mac Mini. I've just always found it quite fascinating to be a computer that small. And actually, by today's standards, the Mac Mini isn't that small, but still, the idea is there. The Mac Mini has always been kind of that starter Mac, which is why it still doesn't include a keyboard and mouse. That's debatable as to whether that's a good choice or not. But anyway, let's talk about what happened with the update today. The Mac Mini has a 4th generation Intel Core processor with Intel Iris and HD Graphics 5000, which isn't that impressive, but keep in mind, this is a starter computer. It has PCIe-based flash storage. It has 802.11 AC support, as expected, just like the other updates today. 2 Thunderbolt ports, and it ships today for the price of, wait for it, $499. I just really emphasize that because it has been years, guys. It has been years since we've seen a Mac Mini for $500. I will never forget years ago when I was following one of Apple's keynotes with Steve Jobs, they announced that the Mac Mini was receiving a price increase from $499 to $599. And part of me died inside because I've always liked that price point of exactly $499. It's just, in my opinion, a very attractive price point. I mean, $500 isn't that much money, especially for what you're getting. I mean, if you factor in you're getting iWork for free with Yosemite, and you're getting the whole Apple experience, and you're getting the support from an Apple store, $500 as a whole is pretty damn good. Now, unfortunately, the Mac Mini didn't receive that impressive of an update, but like I said earlier, at least it received an update, and in my eyes, that's all that matters, and it's just further proof that Apple has not forgotten about the Mac Mini. Okay, so there are several things that we did not see today, including a new iPod Touch. I wore this for good luck, but hey, I mean, the iPod's days are kind of numbered as it is, unfortunately. I mean, the iPod Classic, I can understand them killing off, but I wouldn't mind seeing an iPod Touch update. And then, of course, the Apple TV. I think we'll see a big Apple TV update maybe in January or February with third-party app support. They briefly mentioned the Apple Watch and iOS 8.1, which actually looks quite nice because they're bringing back the camera roll. Why the hell did you take it out to begin with, Apple? Sometimes I question your motives. But hey, at least it's coming back, so I'm happy about that. And we did not see Thunderbolt displays, so shout out to TLD today. I'm pretty sure John was excited about the possibility of that. But unfortunately, it did not happen. Now, if you want my prediction, I say we will see new Thunderbolt displays early next year when and if they announce a new Apple TV. You know, when they're focused on resolutions and displays and all that good stuff. But anyway, for now, I think today's keynote was pretty solid. We saw the iPad Air 2, iPad Mini 3. We saw the iMac with Retina 5K display, and finally, an updated Mac Mini. With, of course, some tidbits regarding iPad sales, Mac sales, email going off in the background, Yosemite updates, iOS 8 updates, a quick tease regarding the Apple Watch. So overall, I really enjoyed it. Oh, and I will say this, the stream was flawless. It was a breath of fresh air coming from Apple's last stream, which was just a disaster. So I'm just really glad to see this keynote was perfect. So guys, that is it for my coverage. What did you think? Were you impressed by Apple's updates? Were you not impressed? Or do you just not care? Do you just watch this video because you like seeing me obsess over Apple stuff? I don't know. So guys, as always, please, I encourage you to like this video if you do like this video. And if you disliked it, then click the dislike button. I don't care. And yes, I'm going to say it, your support is awesome, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.